Disrespect how you feel, but baby, I'll never go that far, 'cause I know better than that. So baby, let me hold you, hold you. I wanna show you, show you, show you how to treat you right, treat you right. Pull you closer through the highs and lows. Yeah, I wanna show you how to treat you right, treat you right. Let me show you what love is and why it's beautiful. Just put your body on top of mine, yeah. I won't treat you the same way as other girls who have no shame. No, I die for you. They have been cruel to you, saying things they don't mean. They have been rude to you. Disrespect how you feel, but baby, I'll never go.
Uh-oh. I was muted there for a second. I think I'm unmuted now. If you're here live, let me know. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I think my software here muted my mic and also switched my camera over to the shitty one right when I got started. So what I want to talk about today is building a business that can sustain you. So this is actually, or was the topic of our podcast last Thursday. If you have not already listened to it, you can go check it out. But I'll be giving the same information here today. So I have some slides that I want to go through. It's going to be really fun. Let me find my screen share button here. There we go. Okay, let's see if this works. Sometimes the technology can be a little tricky. Maybe if I get it to work. Show. Let's see if this works. Maybe. Hello. There we go. Okay. So hopefully you can see my slides now. I try to figure out how to get these to go full screen. I still haven't really cracked the code just yet on that because it's like a pain. Here, let's just go. There we go. Okay. So that should fix it. If you have any questions while I'm going through this, feel free to pop those in the comments. So building a business that can sustain you. So before we get into the topic here, I want to let you know that I just created a brand new freebie. It's called the Unfuck Your Biz Audit. So you can go through this workbook and go through my cash flow setup guide, the small business blueprint, as well as the layers of protection to see what you need to do to make sure that the legal and tax shit is legit in your business. And you can download that right at that URL right there. So getyourshitlegit.com. You can also go to www.bradendrake.com/audit. Both of those will get you there. So building a business that can sustain you. What does this mean? So building a business that can sustain you, what does it mean exactly? We could definitely talk about sustaining your physical, mental, and emotional health. And we will do that for sure a little bit at the end. But what we're really talking about here is building a business that can sustain us financially. So I would argue that the key difference between playing business and running a business is whether you're committed to whether it can actually financially sustain you. So a lot of people, they start their businesses, they might not even consider it a business, it's more of a hobby, and they aren't taking things super seriously. But at some point, we might decide, you know what, I would love to quit my full-time job. I would love to really build this business so that it can fund my lifestyle. And in order to do that, we have to think about what that would entail. So when I say building a business that can financially sustain us, I'm talking about having a business that will pay our bills. So obviously our business expenses, but also our personal bills. Also paying our debt. So if we have debt, our business needs to be able to pay that as well. And then saving for emergencies, other savings, all that good kind of stuff. So the question is, how much do we need to make for our business to sustain us? And probably more importantly, how do we get there? So let's start with the first question. I want you to consider your monthly personal expenses. So think about your student loan payments, think about your rent or your mortgage, think about all of your other personal expenses, groceries, car payments, all this kind of stuff. So clearly, if we're going to have a business that sustains us personally, right, we have to be able to profit enough money to pay for all those things. So how much does that cost you per month? Just ballpark it, come up with a number real quick. Now, also consider that a healthy business, depending on your industry, is going to have around a 70% profit margin. This does not include tax. So just business income minus deductions. And keep in mind, when I say take-home pay, I'm really talking about profit minus taxes. So profit margin probably need to be about 70%, or it doesn't need to be, but that's typically about the average. So let's assume that tax savings need to be 30%. So you're spending 30% of your business expenses, or 30% of your business income on expenses. You are spending the other 30% on taxes. So now your leftover, or your take home, is about 40%. I also like to consider some cushion here. So consider the things you'd like to be saving for that you're not saving for now. So maybe retirement, a vacation, a Peloton, whatever it is that you want to save for. To make the math easy, let's consider that to be another 15% of your income. So now you're left with about 25% of your business income to pay for the stuff you're currently, or hopefully soon, will be paying for. So 25% of what your business brings in is really what's left over. The way I look at it, you need to take the amount of the take-home pay you think you need and multiply it by 4 in order to have the business that can truly sustain you. So we talked about all of our personal expenses. That's what you would have to pay for this remaining, or that's what you would be paying for with this remaining 25%. So to cover all of the other stuff we mentioned, we'd have to take that total amount of money, which we thought about earlier, and multiply it by 4. This is why I've said in the past that everyone should strive to have at least a 6-figure business. And I don't say this because I think we should all be like capitalist and money hungry and then we all have to make a ton of money. But the reality is that in entrepreneurship, 6 figures isn't a ton of money. After we pay for our business expenses, after we pay for taxes, all this good stuff, we're left with really less than an average person's income. And I Googled these metrics to make sure that I wasn't off base there. And that's because, like I mentioned, after self-employment taxes and business expenses, a low 6-figure income nets most of us $40,000 to $50,000. In most states and cities, that's not a ton to work with. And you might be in the position where you're thinking, like 40 to 50 sounds great, but if we do want to save for retirement, pay down debt, all that kind of stuff, we're probably going to need to really focus on our business profit and get those numbers up there. So when we break this down, like honestly, it might be a little bit of a buzzkill. I get that. But it's the reality I wish that I'd been given when I first started my business. If nothing else, it would have prepared me better for the journey and made me realize that it was going to take twice as long for me to get to 6 figures than what I originally thought, or at least 6 figures take-home pay for sure. So let's talk about how we can get there. There's multiple sides to this, so multiple things you have to think about. So your next steps. First, you have to identify what it is that you're doing, right? So if you're beginning in business, you probably know what it is that you're doing, who you're serving, all that kind of stuff. And then you have to crack the marketing side of things, which is not really what I talk about, right? But if you're going to build a business, you have to think, what am I selling? What am I offering? What service am I providing? Who am I providing that service to? How am I going to sell it? All that sort of stuff is super important. But while you're doing this, the often overlooked side of things is that you've got to get your mindset right on the back end of your business. And by this, I mean you have to have a CEO mindset, which means focusing on profit, efficiency, and also the longevity of your business. So this includes, when you need to be the CEO of your business, this includes 1, creating systems to pay your taxes and scale into the right business entities. It means paying yourself regularly so that you can build consistency and routine in your finances. And it also means putting together a full cash flow system to make this happen. So these are just the beginning steps that you have to take into consideration in order to step into the CEO role and begin to build a business that can financially sustain yourself. So this is a fun quote from one of my students, Emily. She said, "It's super important to understand these concepts. Even if you eventually want to outsource some of these tasks, you need to know what the people you're hiring should be doing and have a basic understanding of what their job is instead of just saying, well, I don't know what's going on with my finances, so I better hire someone who does. That's a lot of blind trust. It's a big risk. So this is really important. We have to understand these concepts, again, in order to build a business that can eventually sustain us. So that's all I have for today's training. I hope you found this helpful. It was really just to start to get the ball rolling in your mind as to what you need to do moving forward if eventually you want your business to fully finance your lifestyle. If you want to work full-time in your business and you don't want to have to rely on other income sources to pay your bills, save for your retirement, all this good stuff that we've talked about. So if you are on board with having a CEO mindset and you want to make sure that you have some correct steps set up in your business, make sure that you download the Unfuck Your Biz Audit Workbook. It's totally free. You can get it at getyourshitlegit.com. It's going to take you through the cash flow setup guide, the small business blueprint, and the layers of protection. These are really the 3 systems that I think every business needs to have up and running. So let me see if I can get this screen share to turn off here. Maybe not. We'll turn it off. Maybe finish. There we go. Okay. I think that, well, we might not ever get back to my camera, but that's going to be the whole training for today. Uh-oh, I think I clicked the wrong button. Nope, we don't want to do that. The struggle is real, everyone. Okay, well, I'm just going to let this music, send me out. The countdown timer is counting down to nothing. You can clearly see that I need to work on my technology a little bit. When you try to get really fancy with all this stuff, it gets complicated fast. I'll be back here next Monday for another live training. It's going to be super fun. Stay tuned. I'll